my name is Miu Fan, and I have the pleasure of talking to Nancy Giere, right? Is that how I pronounce it?
Geary.
Geary,
Close
okay.
enough.
Who she is a course creation expert. She actually worked at, she can't say because, we all know about the NDAs, at Fortune 100 companies, and she's had clients at Fortune 100 companies, and she's taken all her expertise from there and help coaches, coaches, speakers, and authors to create high profitable courses. She makes it fun, engaging, and interactive.
Mhm.
So she will be talking at the Thrive in Business and Prosper in Life Summit from October 16 to 22nd. And she's going to be talking about bundle your brilliance, turn your expertise into high profit programs. She'll be talking on Friday, October 21st at 11:30 AM PST time, which is 2:30 PM EST time. So, Nancy Giere, what did you learn from your Fortune 100 company that, that's valuable in smaller businesses?
I think that the one of the most valuable lessons that I learned is the importance of having a really well-designed program. And oftentimes people, they're anxious, they're excited, they want to get something up and in place. And particularly, we just all lived through and everybody wanted to, rush to get their content online. And what happened is we just ended up with a lot of recordings, not really what I would say is a course. I believe it's really important to sort of to step back and look at who's the audience that you want to serve, what is it that they need to be able to do, and then what do they need to know in order to be able to get there? And also, how do you want them to feel? And so to really think through what is the end-to-end process from that first encounter, from the time you introduce your program all the way through to the conclusion, and plan it out so you focus on what they need to know and come up with really great exercises to support them all along the way. And again, it all comes down to really good design and being really intentional about how you're putting your program together.
And so you actually, you're good with Fortune 100 companies. What about the smaller entrepreneurs who are just starting out and are not really sure what they're doing? How do you guide them in that process then?
Well, I take people through really from idea to implementation. And we start out, and the first question that I ask of everybody is really, why do you want to do this? Why do you want to create an online course, an online program? How is it going to help you in your business? So that's, really why you're getting into the game, because I think that's an important question to ask, not just because all the cool kids are doing it, right? And then the next thing is to look at, then from there, then we look at, well, who's your target audience and what do they need? What are their issues, problems, challenges, aspirations? And then look at, well, what is their expertise and how does their expertise line up with what their clients need? And one easy question for a lot of people in the speaking and coaching space is certainly, what do you hear over and over and over again? When you're working with your clients, what comes up all the time? And wherever there's something like that's very kind of repetitive, that's a good cue that would be a good place to start to build out your first online program. So to take those items, bundle it all together, and then have people work through that more basic type of content so that when you go to work with them, whether you're coaching them or doing consulting, you can play at a deeper level because you've covered the basics. And that's one of the best places for people to start. And, it can be quite overwhelming when you think about creating a program. So it's really good to step back and look at, well, what are the different possibilities and options, and where would I potentially be able to get the most traction with my audience?
Wow. And so what are the common mistakes do people make when they're trying to create a course?
One of the biggest mistakes I think that people make is they'll start at the beginning. So they'll want to write the introduction first,
Mhm.
when in fact, what you want to do is begin with the end in mind. And you want to write, well, what's the outcome? At the end of the program, where are they going to be? And then work backwards from there.
Right.
I was thinking about was a big Snoopy fan. Still am, I'm always going to be a Snoopy fan. And when he was on the doghouse and he was writing, and he would go, it was a dark and stormy night and a shot rang out. And then he's like, well, now where do I go? And
All right.
that's, I don't know what to do now. There's so many options. And so oftentimes that's where people will have a breakdown. The other part is you want, it's great to do some brainstorming, but you want to come up with a clear outline. And that's another huge mistake that people will make is they just start writing, which on the one hand, it's great. You want to do some brainstorming, but you want to then take a pause and go, okay, what is the best way to organize this information? If I want to get to that end, with beginning at the end in mind, if I want to get them there, what is that journey going to look like?
Wow.
And really, using keywords and phrases to build that out before you go to all the time and trouble of, writing a whole script.
So you're thinking, start from the end in mind, go
Yes.
work backward and
Yes.
create an outline and not
Mhm.
necessarily the fine details, because
And then what I like to do, when you're creating your outline and you're thinking about, excuse me, what you're going to cover, if you get a really cool idea for an activity, note it, and you'll plug it in later. But oftentimes, I think people get stuck on thinking about how they're going to do it before they know what they're going to do, before what they're going to cover. So it's great. Have an idea, have ideas of cool activities, cool exercises you can do, but then you want to bump it up against, well, what's going to be the flow of the content. Everything starts with good content.
right, and then you help with the content as well.
Right.
And so I'm just curious, I know you talked about your background with Fortune
Excuse me.
100 companies, while working for, and
Yes.
also had clients in Fortune 100
Yes.
companies. What background do you have? Like, did you go to school for something?
Yes, I did. So early in my career, I just kind of
Uh-huh.
fell into designing training programs. And somebody just said,
Uh-huh.
hey, you're a great talker. Can you do this for us? I said, sure. Well, I had an opportunity after I left that company, and I kind of thought, I like training. And I went to work at a place when I lived in the Chicago area. And we had a tremendous opportunity there in that we were learning, we were working on projects to create, well, we weren't quite online yet. This is before online, but computer-based types of training. Things were
Right.
going to be delivered in an independent format on a computer. So we're working on all of these projects. I had a quality assurance manager and a direct manager that reviewed everything I did and gave me feedback. And it was always, how do we make it better?
Ah,
And they arranged for us to participate in a graduate program in instructional design on our lunch hour.
oh,
So it was the perfect situation because I'm doing the work, I'm getting regular feedback and coaching, and I'm going to school and working on a master's degree in the topic. And I think that made a huge difference for me in my career.
mhm,
And now, I'm paying it forward to a certain
right.
extent, right? And because when I work with my clients now, it's always, what can we do to make it better?
Wow. And you did this for how long?
Well, you're going to think I've been doing it since I was 2. I've been working in this space for 30 years.
Okay. She's been
I
doing
look
this for
great, don't
30
I?
years. So yeah, you
Not
want to
my first
fast track
rodeo,
your
as they
course.
say. So,
You want to fast track your course creation? You got somebody with 30 years of experience. Like, oh my gosh. Because I mean, I have created courses that never sold. I had, and I have created courses where only 2 people. So 30 years of experience, everyone. This is amazing. You gotta come and watch her talk. Bundle your brilliance, turn your expertise into high profit programs on October 21st at 11:30 AM PST time, with also that's 2:30 PM no, sorry, I got that wrong.
I'm
11:30
always time
AM
zone challenged.
PST, which is 2:30 PM EST time. And she's actually going to talk with people who actually consulted for Fortune 100 companies, who people are in the leadership team for Larry King, Tony Robbins, John Maxwell. There's more, Warner's brother. So she's among a lot of heavy hitters on Friday, October 21st. Come talk to Nancy. Yeah, bundle your brilliance, turn your expertise into high profit programs. So I think, oh no, we have a bit more time. Okay, 30 years experience, can't beat that. So what advice do you have for people who are just starting out, creating high profit courses?
Just
Or people who, yeah.
I think really it really be focused on what you want to accomplish. Really think about, when you're an expert, one of the challenges is if you have expertise in a topic, you know a lot about it, and you have a whole lot that you can share. And you want to look at what really belongs in a course and what are other kind of companion elements that you can provide. So you think about you always want to take people down the main road and give them some options for the scenic road if they want to dig a little bit deeper. People are very busy and they want to be able to get to the point quickly. Who hasn't been on a virtual event, webinar, where the person has talked, for 20 minutes and they haven't gotten to any real content yet?
Right. Oh yeah. And yeah, I'm a type of person where if I don't learn anything right away, I'm like, I'm checked out.
Yeah, I'm out. I'm done.
I'm done.
Yeah. Because completion rates can be low because, if you don't get people's attention right away. I mean, I think about it, if we have people, that are crafting a speech, everything you need to put into a great speech, you need to put into a great online program. You need to have at the beginning a hook to get their intention, to really have them get a sense of, well, okay, what's in it for me and why should I care? You want to give them a roadmap, an agenda. What's the journey that you're going to be taking them on? You want to take people from topic to topic to topic with really solid, clear transitions. You want to make sure that your topics, that you get to the essential information, you give them what they need in as short a time as possible.
Well, that's awesome. And one thing I was thinking of, like, just as you were talking about these course creation, it helps with coaches or authors or who've been around for a while, and having a course, it's like a group program. I'm thinking that they can actually not burn themselves out.
Right. I think a lot of, to me right now, one of the main places I think where online courses are really going to play is part of a larger program, not necessarily something that people are always going to do independently. But I think the real power is where people have something that they do independently. They come in to the group, there's discussion and facilitation around whatever that particular module was, to strengthen it. We are at a point now, because we can be out in the world again. I believe that having a community that people can be a part of is really what makes the difference. Now, having said that, I think there's still a place for some courses that you do more independently, but it's probably more transactional type of content than transformational, like how to use Microsoft Excel. Right.
So we are at time. So again, save 30 years of experience to watch Nancy's talk, bundle your brilliance, turn your expertise into high profit programs on October 21st at 11:30 AM PST time, or 2:30 p.m. EST time. And the registration would be either in the comments in Facebook or in the description in LinkedIn and YouTube. So thank you so much, Nancy, for your time.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm looking forward to presenting on the 21st.
Me too. I can't wait.